Good morning, students. Now we are going to discuss about of sensors and actuators. So before going to discuss about of the sensors and actuators, why we need sensors and why we need actuators? What is the purpose of sensors and what is the purpose of actuators? Let's have a brief description. We already discussed about of sensor role over here whenever you are discussing about of basic definition of embedded systems. So usually it's just an example of pulse oximeter, so if you inject or else if you insert any one of your fingers, then it will send some red light and it will send some infrared lights through our human body, and it has to calculate heartbeat and pulse rate, oxygen pulse rate. Oxygen pulse rate in bodies means here we are using sensors. So sensor is a transducer device that can convert energy from one form to another form for any purpose of measurement. So what is meant by transducer? So which is a device to convert one type of energy, let it may be any one type of energy, one type of energy to another form for any measurement. Maybe it may convert from electrical energy into mechanical energy, or mechanical energy into electrical energy, or electrical energy into displaying any one of the readings, or sensor signals may be using to read any one of the data. So which will converts one form of energy into another form of energy is can done by transducer, and these transducers principle is just like as sensors. You already know about of sensors. What sensor it is? If you give any one of the input signal to sensor, then sensor will perform some action and then it will execute the output. So here the application or execution of a sensor may depends type of energy. Whichever it may be the type of energy, it may need to convert to some other type of energy. On that particular process, it has to calculate any one of the parameter, either it may be from the organs or from bodies or from any one of the elements which is passing through these sensors. And the next one is actuators. So actuators means it's a form of transducer device as usual. So which is simply known that, so here sensors play some actions and then it will release or it will execute some output. So what is the output? That's always depends upon input. We don't want to bother about what is the output and what is the input. So sensors means it always accepts input and it has to perform some actions and then it releases or executes the corresponding output. While it is coming to actuators, it cannot perform any actions. Can't perform actions. So we already taken one example in previous topics, that is heart beating sensor or display. Heart beating display, which mostly we will use in hospitals. So, which usually converts the signals to corresponding physical action. What is the physical action? It has to display the output. For example, I am connecting my heart using electrodes for calculating my heartbeat. So if you observe any one of the ICUs, usually they would like to put some electrodes on our chest, and then the corresponding machine or device has to connect one display, electronic display. Here you will get heartbeat, and here you will get pulse oximeter, that is nothing but oxygen levels in body, and this is so only I have one. So if it is a heartbeat, it will show like this. Means heartbeat means usually it has to beat for 72 times per minute, and the oxygen levels of our body should be 89 to 97 in between. If we have 89 to 97 oxygen levels in our human body, then that particular person is good, having good healthy condition oxygen levels. If any one of the person's heartbeat is in between 69 to 72, then that person's heart is functioning properly. Here actuators will calculate how many times a human heart is going to be beating per minute. It's mechanical energy, and it has to convert that mechanical energy into electrical energy, and that electrical energy is going to be displaying in terms of waveforms over in displays. So where the actuators will take the lead role is to calculating the heartbeat is in a part of electrodes. Once electrodes will collect the information, then actuator will grab that particular information, and it has to take that particular information until when it is going to be displayed, a display device. So for example, this is my display device, and here I have one stretcher. So one human has placed on that, and wires has to be connected to that particular sensors. Then these are actuators. Actuators means who will carry the information from one place to another person through wires, maybe optical fiber cables. This is what electrodes, actuators are. So the next one is I/O subsystem. I/O means, as we already know about of input and output. Subsystem. So what is meant by subsystem? The name itself, it is indicating it is a part of a system. It is a part of a system, subsystem, right? So it is a system, and it is one of the part of a system, subsystem. So before going to discussing about the system, so what is subsystem and what is the relation between sensors, actuators with this I/O subsystem? Let's have a look. So first of all, I/O subsystem means input and output subsystems. So as I already know this, part of a system is nothing but subsystem. So as we already discussing about of subsystem, what is input subsystem or what is output subsystem? Means which are the components can be act as input subsystem, or which are the components can be act in output subsystem. So some components there may be a chance to get used in input subsystem, or some other components are available which are using to in output subsystem. There may be a chance to get some more components also which can be utilized, either it may be in input or it may be an output, or both the input and output also. Let's have a look why we need these I/O subsystems. Okay, so first, as we already have discussed about of sensor, which will accept some input and it has to perform some actions and then it will display the executed output. So that is what sensor it is. What is actuator? Actuator means it cannot perform any action. It will accept the input and it will displace the output. Whatever it may be the input, it will just display the output, just like our latch and digital sums. So I have sensors and I have actuators. But now my question is, who will carry the input to these sensors? Or what are the actions that can be performed by using sensors? Who will going to be display or execute those outputs? Same as how actuator will get an inputs and how it has to display the output. So actuator intentionally it has inbuilt, it has displaying capability, but still it need one device to display the output. That is the reason why we need I/O subsystems. Because sensors and actuators may not interface to the system, whatever it may be the system. They can't able to directly interface with the system. They need some subsystems. So these are the subsystems which are available in our real-time world or in our curriculum to act as interface in between sensors and actuators. So let's have a look. First one, LED, light emitting diode. So usually we will, most of the time, why we need LEDs? It's just display, or else whether the LED means it just seems to be like a bulb. It can perform any actions? No, it cannot. Either it may be blink or it may be an off state, only two states. So it can only display. And the second one, 7-segment LED display. So the name itself, it is indicating it is again one more display device. One more display device only. And the third one is optocouplers. So what is this one? The name couplers means it has to work like a coupling network in between any one of the two devices. Means it is performing some actions. Okay. Next one, stepper motor. So the name it is indicating motor means it can't able to useful for displaying purpose. It has to what? It has to perform some actions. So either it may be converting or it may be mechanical energy or it may generate electrical energy, whatever it is. Let's see. So what was next one? Relay. So again, it cannot used for display purpose. It will perform some actions again. Piezo buzzer. So the name itself indicating this is buzzer. Buzzer means it's just like a calling bell. So when it reaches, or else someone has to either operate or it can be operated in two ways. Either it may be an automatic or it may be manual also. If it is a manual, if we press on the switch, it will buzzer. Just most of the time we will use in cinema theaters like that buzzers, piezo buzzers. So how piezo buzzer means how it is using piezoelectricity, but for the buzzer we'll see when we're going to discuss about this particular topic. So buzzer means it will just indicating. It may not displaying, it's just indicating. And next one is push button switch. The same action which can be performed by the piezo buzzer and push button switch. Piezo buzzer means if you push the switch, it will buzzer for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, that's depend upon the timer. But if it's a push button switch, if you switch, it is on. If you switch it off, it is going to be off. So it cannot perform, either it may be in on state or it may be in off state. That's an action. And this one is keyboard. As usual, what we are using in our laptops and systems, keyboard. So keyboard is performing or displaying. Whatever it is, for example, you have typed like embedded systems, EMBEDDED, embedded. Whenever you are switching or touching your keyboard keys, then obviously it is going to be performing some actions. Because of that only we are going to see in our display. Means this is also going to be perform some actions. And last one is program peripheral interface. So whenever it is an interface, it cannot be used for display system. So obviously this one is going to be perform some actions. So as we already having a knowledge that sensors means which will perform some actions and then they will display the executing output. If it is an actuator, it will only display whichever the input that it is receiving, right? So if it is a display, this is actuator. If it is a display, this is actuator. Actions, sensor, actions, sensor, actions, sensor. Indicating means, is it performing any action or just showing that the time is running out? Only timing running out. So this is actuator. Action, again, sensor, actuator, sensor, action, sensor. So if any one of the time, whether they're going to be asking about, give me any 2 examples for actuators, then go and explain the LED and 7-segment display. That's enough. No need to go explain about all these topics. Or else, anytime they're going to ask about explain any one of the sensor elements with examples, optocoupler and stepper motors. This is enough. Okay? Let's have a look in deep and how they're going to be operating. Let's start with LED, light emitting diode. So as we already know about this one, light emitting diode, what it is doing it? Previously we are already discussed in a display system. So it is an example for actuator. What is the role of an actuator? It will not perform any actions. Whichever the input that it is received, that same input has to be displayed in different manners, whether it may be in graphical manner, or it may be display manner, or it may be digital manner. That's depend upon the device that we are using to display that particular output levels. So this is my LED. So this is my bulb. So this is my bulb, like just LED bulb, and I'm just connected to ground. If I directly connected supply source to bulb, so for example, I have given 5 volts as VCC, supply voltage as 5 volts. If it is directly connected to bulb and this is directly to ground, then this LED get damaged because that LED's maximum capability is 1.5 and my minimum is 0.25. Supply voltage should be in between these two only. If the number of bulbs are connected in series or in parallel, then you can use up to 5 volts, it doesn't matter. Depends on power fluctuations. If there is a chance to vary this VCC voltage from 1.5 volt to 5 volt, then this LED is going to be damages. For avoiding that particular damages only, I am using one resistor. We used to call these type of resistors as supporting resistors. Supporting resistors. Even it may be in p-n junction diode or it may be in a transistor, any one of the time. If you are using any one active element, whether it may be diode or it may be transistor or it may be an op-amp, any one that you can use, then definitely in between source to this particular active element, you have to use one resistor. Why? Supporting resistors. And most of the time, technically, we used to call those resistors as protection purpose only. So those are called as protection resistors. Okay? So this is the internal structure of our LED, light emitting diode, having a parts of exposé lens. So lens means again it has to display only. So this is LED chip, light emitting diode chip. Why we need to use this chip? This one. This LED chip, why we need to use this chip one? Whenever the power supply is coming to this particular LED, then it has to perform some actions. That action in terms of either it may be switch off or it may be switch on. And next one is reflective cavity. Reflective cavity means, for example, this diode, this LED's maximum capability is 1.5, but still it is reaching 1.6. It can bear 1.7, it can bear 1.8, it can bear. But if it exceeds 1.9, that is going to be damaged, because this reflective cavity having the capability of maximum 0.3 to 0.5 only, resistance purpose. And this one is cathode and this one is anode, you already know this. Why are this anode wire? Because whenever you are getting a positive over here, it has to give the input to the bulb. That is the reason why we are connecting one wire from this to here. Okay. Next one is float the spot. This is for plastic one, just only for the purpose of holding the diode. So LED is an important output device for visual indication. Visual indication means physically we can observe and we can conclude with some actions, but we can't able to calculate the input voltage, we can't able to calculate the output voltage, and we can't able to find the how much input voltage is coming for LED and how much output voltage is executing for LED. We can't able to decide. Only for visual indication basis only we are going to use LEDs. So we have maybe power on or it may be buzzer on, whatever it is. Power on and off and battery low conditions, whichever it is. And mostly you may identify in railway stations. So whenever you are in railway stations, they used to display the timings. So which train is coming and what is the train number and platform number and the compartment number, whether it may be AC or sleeper or general or 2 AC or 3 AC or 1 AC. So it has to display, entirely display purpose we are going to be use only LEDs only. For protecting LED, what we are going to connecting in between source to one LED, in between we are connecting one resistance which will support to oppose the any one of the power fluctuations which are going to happen in VSCC are going to be reduce the damage of LED by using this particular resistor. The next one is 7-segment display. So the same display what we are using in LEDs, which this is also almost similar. In LED we have only one bulb. Here we are going to use 7 bulbs. So that is what 7-segment LED display. So let's consider having each one having one bulb. So A is my bulb number 1, B is my bulb number 2, and C is my bulb number 3, D is my bulb number 4, E is my bulb number 5, F is my bulb number 6, and in between G is my bulb number 7. 7-segment displays means I am using 7 LEDs. Okay, and I have one more bulb for DP. DP is nothing but decimal point. Decimal point. For example, these 7 LEDs are going to use to display numerics from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Any one of the digit can be using 7-segment display can be possible to display the system. What is DP? Decimal point. for example, I have given 1.1. How it is going to be shown? It can't able to expose or it can't able to physically visualize the 1.1 because it is having a capability to show either it may be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only real numbers only. Then obviously it is showing B and C will blink. So obviously it is being like so remaining 1, 6, 7, 5 and 4 all are off state, and let's coming to 2 and 3 are in on state. Then when we are observing any one of the digital board, then it is showing like 1. What about 0? What about the 0.1? It cannot show this 0.1, but still it can visualize that there is some value is there after decimal point. Then this DP will blink like 1 and this DP will blink like this. Then we have to understand the value is 1 but still having some decimal value. It is not a real number. So these are the examples of numerics. So here you have, this is 7 segment display, A, is A, B, C, D, E, F and G, 7 LEDs. So whenever it is going to display 0, G is going to be off, remaining all LEDs are going to be on, then 0 will be displayed like this. Like previously I have taken example as 1. So here 1 means B and C are going to be displayed, remaining all are in off state. Likewise the remaining all the numbers are going to be displayed, depends upon the shape of a digital number, these all LEDs are going to be operating. So here you have 2 modes of operation. First one is common anode and second one is common cathode. Let's have a look with common anode. So simply already we have the display size of LED. Previously we have one LED now. So it is just like okay. Here I am applying VCC and this is my protecting resistance and this is my LED bulb and this, as you already know, this ground. So here I have this one, this terminal is anode and this one is cathode. If it is common anode means we have, as it already named as 7 segment display, we already have 7 LEDs. So all the LEDs having anodes and cathodes. So A1, C1, A2, C2, A3, C3, anode 4, cathode 4, anode 5, cathode 5, anode 6, cathode 6, anode 7, cathode 7. Okay, 7 segment display now. So whenever you are going to operate a common anode, all the anodes has to short, just like this. All the anodes are going to be short. And I am giving the power supply, whichever, let it may be 1.5 or it may be 2 or 2.5 or 3, whichever it may be, depends upon my application basis, I have to apply for this. And these are my inputs. Whether these LED has to display, either it may be on state or it has to be in off state. That could be decided by using this